Hello again, everybody. Ben Joravsky here. We're calling this Don't Get Wall Street Mad Tuesday, and here's why. Got the immortal, the legendary Elizabeth Todd Breland on. She's ready to come on, talk about her great book about Karen Lewis. I'm showing her a copy of the book to fire her up. Talk about education policy in the age of Trump. But before we do that, I have to I get this like wry smile on my face. It does no good to feel the way I feel right now, ladies and gentlemen. As I watch the consequences of Donald Trump absolutely destroying our economy for no particular reason other than he's demented. He is a demented human being. I've said this for like how many years now, listeners? You've been hearing me rant and rail about the dementia of Donald Trump. We talked about it a lot in contrast with the dementia of Joe Biden. Two different kinds of dementia. I've lived through both with parents and friends, so I know them both very well. One is the angry dementia of a lunatic who cannot distinguish right from wrong. Always had a little trouble in that department anyway, in Donald Trump. And then the other is like the slow meltdown dementia of a person who's losing control of his brain. Can't remember things, can't finish a sentence he starts. That was Joey Biden. Now, America could recognize the slow dementia of Joe Biden, but its own twisted, weird way, they embraced the angry meltdown dementia of Donald Trump, even though if each individual Trump voter who celebrated the madness of the man they voted for had to deal with a person like that in their life, they would lose their minds. If they had to deal with a human being who was as Looney Tune as Trump is in their daily life, just like someone you had to talk to at the breakfast table, try to convince them to do the right thing, even though they were determined to do the wrong thing, and every day was a struggle to get them to tie their shoes, let's say. They would lose their mind. They would be drinking. They'd be smoking reefer. They'd be doing all the things you do to try to separate yourself from the pain of dealing with a demented person. But when it was Donnie, they voted for him. It still blows my mind. And I know 99% of the reason the so-called swing voters voted for Donnie was because they just hate black women, resent black women, fear black women. We know that. This is the one show where we will say that. We're not going to talk about the price of eggs, like most talk shows. The price of eggs was really distressing. We know what was at play. So here we are, the consequences. A lunatic declares a trade war without rhyme or reason, without anything resembling like thought. It was like the contrivance he showed at the White House, that chart. Elizabeth Todd Breland has been teaching for a long time. Can you imagine if a student showed up in a chart like this? This is my chart. God damn. Everybody's nodding along. Oh, I don't want to say anything. I'm upset. I'm afraid. I'm Joe Rogan. I'm afraid. Oh, God, that's a shout out for producer Chris. I just did that for you, Chris. Absolutely no thought put into it at all. And now we're dealing with the consequences, which was a market meltdown. And Wall Street types who voted for him, now they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe he did it. This is costing us a fortune. I'm outraged. Oh, yeah. What about all the other things he did that you don't care about? What about all the other destruction that you were protected from? We're going to be talking about the destruction of the education front for public schools. But you what? You're so rich you send your kid to private school, doesn't affect you. So you're not going to have to deal with the consequences of some bird brain proposal by some like fascist type. Like you can't talk about Jackie Robinson in a class on race relations. You don't have to worry about that because your kid goes to private school, but you're worried about the value of your company. So as I speak, they're having hearings on the tariffs in Congress, and it's hilarious. All these Republicans bashing like some flunky that Trump sent up to the Capitol Hill to represent him, Peter Navarro, whoever. I don't know. They got so many stooges in the White House these days, I can't keep track of. It doesn't even matter who he sends up there. And they're all bashing him. And it's just like, I'll say it again, it's just like the old days of Baby Daley when he was running this city, and Rahm when he was running this city, and they'd send their flunkies down to city council to talk about the dumb plans they were up with. They were just like selling off our city. And all the aldermen were so tough on those aides. Well, they'd be, oh, Ben, you watch how I'm going to stand up to this. You watch this. They'd be ripping the aide here and there. But when it came to Mayor, saying anything about Mayor Rahm or Mayor Daley, oh, I love you, Mr. Mayor. Can you bend over again so I can kiss you some more? Sorry. That was, I don't know where that rant came from, but it came from, you know what it came from? It came from Karen Lewis. And that brings me to Elizabeth Todd Breland.